I'm Kristin. Feel free. Hi.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, that's okay. Hey guys, welcome to another COVID-19 travel update. A few months back, I did a video on countries that were reopening to US citizens and people of other nationalities. And you might remember that Sri Lanka was on that list. But after I published the video, they changed their minds and decided not to reopen for tourism in 2020. But hey, new year, new you. We're in 2021, things have changed, and Sri Lanka has announced that they are officially reopening for tourism. And if I had to describe the situation in just 2 words, I would say it's complicated. But I'm gonna break everything down for you here in this video. Long story short, Sri Lanka is open for tourism. It's open to citizens of every country with one exception. And there is no quarantine requirement, technically, but you will need to get tested. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you what you need to be able to get into Sri Lanka, how long you can stay, where you can stay, and what you can do once you get there. As I mentioned, the situation in Sri Lanka is a little bit complicated, so I'm gonna link below for all of the technical and very boring details, and I'm just gonna cover the most important things you need to know in this video. First things first, what do you need to get in? So both of the airports are open to both commercial as well as private or chartered flights, but you will need to apply for a visa, which you can get online at this website. You'll also need to take up to 3 PCR tests. So you'll need to pass the first test within 96 hours of your departure, and then you'll also need to prepay another 1 or 2 tests depending on how long you're going to be staying in Sri Lanka. These tests cost $40 each, and you'll need 2 tests if you're staying for up to 7 days, but you may need to take 3 tests if you're staying for longer than that. You'll also need to purchase a mandatory COVID-19 insurance policy that you can get through Sri Lanka, and the cost is about $12 for 30 days. After you apply for that visa, you're going to need to download the country's COVID-19 app, visit Sri Lanka, and then you will also need to pre-book your accommodation at what is a bug in my face? At what is being called a safe and secure hotel. So for the first 14 days, even though you don't need to quarantine, you do need to stay in a government-approved safe and secure hotel. The good news is you won't be confined to your room, but you can actually hang out, walk around the resort, use the amenities, use the pool, go to the restaurants. So you are, I guess, quarantined in the hotel, you're just not quarantined in your room. So just to recap so far, you're gonna need that online visa, you're going to need to fill out a health declaration form, and you're going to need to pass a COVID-19 test within 96 hours before departure. You'll also need that insurance policy, and then the 5th thing you'll need is to pre-book your hotel. Okay, fast forward, you have now arrived in Sri Lanka, you're ready to hit the pool. What's next? Now it's time to pass your second PCR test, which you would have already prepaid, and you're gonna take that test upon arrival. You can then make your way to your hotel where you will remain for the next 14 days, but you can't take public transportation, so you're probably going to take a private car or shuttle arranged with your hotel directly. Your transportation details are also going to be submitted to the tourism authority. So basically, your travel plans are going to be shared. According to my COVID passports video, some of you are probably not going to like that, but those are the requirements as they stand now to be able to enter Sri Lanka for fun. Cool, so you've made it this far, you have checked into the hotel, you're relaxing by the pool with a lovely beverage, and you are waiting for your COVID test results. Now you can just kick back, relax, and enjoy yourself at the resort until it's time for your second PCR test. So this would technically be your 3rd at this point. This test will be conducted between 5 and 7 days after your arrival. So you have that to look forward to. Now, you are good to go after that second test. For the next week, you can still hang out at the hotel, but you can't do much else until after that initial 14-day period has passed. So once it's been 14 days and you've been negative for COVID 3 times, you can leave the resort grounds and you can go to a few limited tourist sites. By this point, you will have had plenty of time to plan some excursions, ideally with your hotel. I'm sure they'll be ready to help you out. And your actual itinerary of where you're going to go will also be submitted to tourism authorities. So there are only a few select sites that are open for sightseeing, and they also have a limited capacity, and you have to pre-book a time that you want to go to those sites. They're calling this a biosafety bubble, and everything is going to be super micromanaged, from where you're going to what time you're going to when you will be stopping for meals or other sorts of breaks. So it's not going to be what you're used to for tourism, but it will be possible to see the sights in Sri Lanka. Any tour guides or operators that are traveling with you are going to have to be decked out in PPE, so also prepare for that. And if you're curious about where you can go, then you can check which sites are open and the time slots available on this website below. But just as an overview, you can do things like visit national parks, go whale watching, go on safaris, go to the zoo, and go to some temples and botanical gardens. So it is quite limited. Right now there are only 17 attractions on the approved list, but I expect that they'll be adding more in the months to come. As far as where you can stay, I'll also link below to a list of all of the approved safe and secure level 1 hotels that you can choose from, but there are 60 on the list right now, so plenty of selection. Other random things to know is that Sri Lanka is limiting the amount of tourists per day, which right now is around 2,500, but that could go up. And again, everyone's welcome, except word on the street is that the UK is temporarily banned due to their new COVID-19 variant. So otherwise, you should be good to go. Oh, another thing, Sri Lanka is not giving any preferential treatment to people with the COVID vaccine. So for all of you wondering if you have your COVID passport with you and if you can show proof of immunity, that is not going to get you out of any of the entry requirements. Okay fam, that is your COVID-19 travel update for today. Check out this playlist if you're curious about any countries you might have missed in the past, and let me know in the comments below which destination you want me to cover next. Either way, give this video a like, share it with your friends who love travel as much as you, and see you in the next video. Every time I finish, a car comes by.